Good morning, everybody. It is a Saturday morning, Independence Day weekend, and I thought I'd join you for a few minutes just to talk a little bit about Independence Day, where we've come, and how special this weekend is. As you know, this is 245 years ago that our republic was founded. And what's really been an amazing journey over these last 15 or 16 months has been our ability to now recognize how important and how vital those founding fathers' words were, and how real the Constitution is, and our freedoms and liberties that were established so long ago. They've become renewed in people. And one thing that we've heard more of this year than a lot of other years in our Independence Day celebration as we led up to this is the year 1776 and the founding of our country. I think part of it is the the left's narrative of the 1619 project, and wanting to discount and discredit all the things that our country was founded on, and we're simply not going to allow that to happen, are we? Um, One thing that's I think is fantastic. I feel like we, meaning Stand Up Michigan, and all of the people around this great state from various conservative organizations, like-minded people, really Americans, if you want to call them that, have really risen up over this period of time through a pandemic, through our lockdowns, and the tyrannical, obviously, mandates of our governor during this time, and then the election process that we all know what transpired there. And we saw record numbers of you show up to vote, and to take advantage of our opportunities, and control our own destiny, which is what we are trying to secure. Now, of course, we have to restore that, and then we have to preserve and protect it, and that means that every single one of us have to actually get involved. Period. We cannot just watch on a video screen or a telephone screen when it's convenient. We have to get involved in our local communities to instill real change for us to be able to move forward. One of the privileges that I've had during this period of time has been to connect with so many other grassroots leaders from around not only Michigan, but from around the country. And I think I've told or talked about it here before. I lead a frontliner group with about 150 grassroots leaders from around the nation, along with Freedom Works out of Washington, D.C. And we had C.L. Bryant. Those of you that were at the Nigel Farage event might have had a chance to listen to him. He's a fantastic, patriotic American pastor who had a dynamic message for us there. And he joined us this last week. And one of the things that he talked about again was the 1776, and that we have to look at this Independence Day differently, and that we need to actually look back to the founding of our country, the biblical principles it was founded on. And we've been sharing a lot of those on our Stand Up Michigan page, and also our locals, quotes by so many of our patriotic founding fathers. And I think that's been a pretty dynamic, lots and lots of comments, I should say, every time we put up one of those. But I thought that today, one of the grassroots groups that is prominent around the country, been around since the Tea Party days, and has been very effective, has been Act for America. And they put together a good piece, and I thought I would just share my screen with you. I'm going to read it for those that just listen to this and don't necessarily watch. So I'm going to share my screen now with you so I can go through this, because I think it's perfect for today. So it's 1776 strong, as you see, done for Act for America. And I think, again, we have to become individually strong like they were in 1776, because like they were then facing an incredible enemy who had planned to its destruction or total control. And a small number of people rose up, fought against it, and obviously overcame it. And that is the same kind of a thing that we are faced with today. United we stand, 1776 strong. Take a look at these visuals. These are visuals that happened during this last year. I'm sure many of you participated in everything from boat parades to other parades to presidential visits and events. And again, this 4th of July is under assault. days of protests, race hustling, Marxist marches, flag burning, identity politics, and hatred of America as it is. We have to invoke the spirit of 1776 of patriotic brotherly love and reclaim this glorious day. Remember, this is our country. This is our movement. The time to act is now. We have to stand up to these Marxists and socialists who seek to forever change our republic and strip away our freedoms enshrined in our Constitution. We have to unite and ignite our national pride and stand together like they did in 1776. 1776 strong, it firmly unites all patriotic Americans, forms a wall of defense from domestic enemies of our republic. Our Constitution is our foundation and our fortification. 1776 strong boldly celebrates our independence, our shared identity as Americans, our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, our founders, military and our flag, conservatism and our traditional values, the nuclear family, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all, American exceptionalism, America first, our right to assemble and speak freely. It rejects the 1619 agenda, rejects critical race theory and action civics. It rejects institutionalized racism and identity politics. It rejects Marxism and socialism, and it rejects domestic reconstruction of our form of government. Democrats, liberals, and socialists from inside and outside of America are in their final push to deliver a death blow to our republic. They seek to demonize and defund and destroy our police and our law enforcement. They seek to replace our republic's constitutional form of government with a democratic, socialist, totalitarian, and oligarchy regime. They seek to destroy our immigration process and transform America through open borders. And we have all seen them weaponize the media, social media, and big corporations as one ministry of propaganda party machine. We've seen and witnessed the censorship. They seek to fraudulently manipulate our voting process for a forever power grab. Conservatives have to drive our own agenda, while the Democrats have us debating critical race theory, police brutality and discrimination, identity politics, healthcare, gender confusion. The left has been at something far more sinister, and that is transforming America as we know it. And it is time for us to stand up for our republic, and let's unite. And as we've said before, we need to stand up and we have to show up. This is our time of choosing. President Ronald Reagan said, "This is the issue. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite is a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves." And Benjamin Franklin said, this is what Benjamin Franklin meant when he famously stated, "You have a republic if you can keep it." We have to protect our republic. We have to protect the filibuster. We have to protect the Supreme Court, the U.S. Constitution. We have to abolish race hustling, abolish identity politics, and we have to eliminate and destroy the thought of the 1619 Project. As we've mentioned many times, we are no longer the silent majority. We have always been the majority, and we are now proving to be the vocal majority. We are alive, we believe, and we are here to stay. Going back to this again, these visuals were seen and continue to be seen all across this great land. We are no longer silent. We are in the fight. We are in it to win it. We will not back down, and we are going to push the left all the way back to 1776. We can call this movement the Great 1776 Resist. What we must do is unite and ignite our movement as we united and ignited those masks a few weeks ago. Let's rise up from these ashes. Let's shake off this dust from January 2021. And we have to stand 1776 strong together. We have to push the left back on their heels. The left, let's push the left and put them on notice that their reign of terror is over. 1776 strong is our line of defense. 1776 strong is written in concrete in the hearts of true Americans. I wanted to read that to you because I couldn't have said it better. I just read it to you because there's so many parts of that we have to take to heart. I want you to share this short video on this weekend. I'm going to try and boost it if they'll allow me so more people will see it. Mainly because we have to transform ourselves and take ourselves back to the time and place in which there was a minority who fought for everything that we stand for. They sacrificed everything in order for us to have and appreciate and enjoy the freedoms that we have today. The silent majority is no longer, again, it is not a minority. We are the majority. We just are not able to share that information in print, in regular media, or in social media. We are made to believe that we're a minority, and it is a false, an absolute false claim. As you know, when it comes to even voting rights or voting issues, over 80% of Americans believe in voter ID, and yet everything that you read about it says just the opposite. And that is so that eventually we will give up on what it is that we stand for and believe. If we could believe that 1619 was the true Independence Day, then we would lose everything that our founding fathers established for us. The great news is, and what they don't understand is, again, that our founding fathers' principles were founded on Christianity, on biblical principles that never change. It is truly the foundation in which our country is founded on, is established on, and that foundation is rock solid. It's not going away, and neither are we. We are rising up, and on this weekend, I want you to enjoy your family. I want you to enjoy any celebrations that you have, and as you watch the fireworks in the air, remember what they stood for. Remember the defending of that flag, the defending of that independence. Say a prayer for our country. Say a prayer for our enemies. Yes, for our enemies. I think it's vital that we pray for them, that they would see the light. You know, one thing that I mentioned in a meeting that I had this last week is it seems that the darker and more deception that our enemy chooses to use, the more that they expose themselves and the easier it is for us to see the light and the truth. I believe that there are a lot of Americans who even sat home or voted in a different way than we did in November, but are now seeing the overplaying of the hand and what it is that they were really after. It was never about a former president, Donald Trump. It was always and will always be about taking away your individual rights, your individual liberties, keeping us apart, keeping us out of our church, keeping us out of the cafes and the places in which we would meet and have coffee and discuss today's events, and even talk about what we choose to do and not to do in regards to all the issues with the pandemic. I just want you to know that you are a part of the majority, but we have to get involved. We have to show up at these meetings. And it is the reason that we have moved to county chapters. Number one, we're a lot more effective face to face. We're a lot more effective one community at a time because the community members that join your county live and operate, run businesses, work in the school systems, and they are all people that are going to be believed in a much stronger way and have an impact in your community in a different way than I could ever be from just talking to you on a computer screen or a television screen. I will be at as many of those events we've had, and we have 10 or 11 county kickoffs scheduled. We had 2 this last week. We have 2 more this next week. We're approaching 20 counties that are actually active at this point, and it is growing rapidly, and we're trying to keep up with it all. Each of these county events are averaging about 200 people at their initial meetings. And they are choosing the areas in which they want to become involved, but we have to become in all the above. Election integrity. How many people want to raise their hand with that one out there? The school issues, critical race theory, and the issues that happen there, masking our kids as they go back to school, or non in person learning altogether. Even with regardless of what happens with facts and science, they choose to look for control. And when they do these kind of things to us and our children, it is about control. It has nothing to do with a virus. It's important for us to battle against those things. And last summer, when we told you all that all of the issues and things that were happening uh, with these executive orders and all the businesses that shut down and were destroyed in the process were all illegal orders. Our Supreme Court said so. We're repealing that 1945 law. It's going to happen soon, and we've got more work to do. But on this incredible holiday, I would just ask you all again to enjoy it, hug your kids and your family, get out that beautiful American flag and enjoy each other. And then I want you to, at some point in time, go to standupmichigan.com and sign up on the homepage. It will identify you by county. And then you will become, and you have a choice in there to say, I'd like to be a leader. I'm willing to get involved and check the boxes in which are appropriate for you. And then we're going to reach out to you, or your county leaders will, and we're going to get involved and we're going to change our community. We're going to update these election integrity issues. We're going to battle these school boards, these township and city and county commissions in order to make them honor the values, protect our rights and individual liberties, and or we're going to replace those that choose not to. It's that simple. I don't care which county you live in, whether they tend to be a liberal or a conservative county. We have a lot of people who are serving who do not represent what it is that we stand for. We're going to identify those people. We're going to check them, and they're either going to change the way that they operate, or again, we're going to rise up people and train them, and they're going to run for office, take over these positions. And by 2022 and ultimately 2024, we're going to take back our country. It's up to us at any point in time we decide that we are taking back control. We can do that. We have to stop consenting. We have to stop standing for illegal orders and mandates. And so often the courts now are siding with us, but we can't wait for courts. And you can't wait for Washington. And you certainly can't wait for Lansing. We have to do these. Again, I'm going to repeat it. One neighbor, one neighborhood, one city, county, and community at a time. And if we do that, we will transform and we return to the 1776 principles of which our country was founded. Have an incredible day. We'll talk to you soon. God bless America.